The needs within a human being have risen because of a certain sense of incompleteness. People are forming relationships to experience a certain sense of completeness within themselves. When you have a good relationship with someone dear to you, you feel complete. When you don't have that, you feel incomplete. Why is this so? Because this life, this piece of life, is a complete entity by itself. Why is it feeling incomplete? And why is it trying to fulfill itself by making a partnership with another piece of life? Fundamental reason is that we have not explored this life in its full depth and dimension. Though that is the basis, there is a complex process of relationships as such. There are expectations. And expectations, and expectations, and expectations. The expectations that most people are creating are such that there is no human being on the planet who could ever fulfill those expectations. If you, especially this man-woman relationship, the expectations are so much that even if you marry a god or a goddess, they will fail you. Because the expectations are so unrealistic that nobody, no human being can ever fulfill that. And unable to understand the expectations or the source of expectations. Nobody can fulfill the expectations. But if you understand what is the source of this expectation, you could form a very beautiful partnership. Are you okay? You're getting very serious with relationships. On a certain day, Jack and Jill, now let me use, I'm trying to just culturally change the joke. Jack and Jill were going up the hill. And Jack had a bucket in his hand, a chicken under his arm, and a pitchfork and a rope, at the end of which there was a goat. And Jill said, "I'm feeling very nervous." Jack said, "Why?" "I'm afraid you may have your way with me. I'm alone with you." He said, "What do you mean? I didn't do anything and my hands are full." So she said, "You may put the pitchfork down, plant it in the earth, tie the goat to it, put the chicken down and put a bucket over it, couldn't you?" And in the process of holding a relationship, the first moment of meeting, the expectations may be common, but as every step that we take in life, the expectations may become different. Because these expectations keep changing in people, they are not consistent, and they cannot be. One person may be consistent with the same expectation throughout their life, another person's expectations may be changing because his perception and experience of life is changing. Now, relationships become great conflict. More conflict is happening within the four walls of the homes than is happening anywhere on the planet. Only thing is, bombs are not exploding, so you don't hear it. they may be giving each other silent treatment. It is happening because people's expectations are changing, and they're not changing at the same pace. They're changing at different pace. One person is changing fast, another person is not so fast about how to change their expectations. So if you go about doing management and circus with these things, there is no way you can gauge it 100% and have a beautiful relationship. If you try to mind read the other person and constantly try to fulfill their expectations, you will become a wreck. You tried those things, isn't it? You're trying to, outdo the other person in really wanting to fulfill all their expectations, you become a wreck. So, if you go like this, it's an endless circus. To some extent you have to do it, but that is not the basis of a beautiful relationship. Fundamentally, why have we sought a relationship? Because your brilliant management, you will see, it'll just give you hell. The smartest people on the planet, or those people who think they're really smart, tend to have the most horrible relationships. Not essentially, but generally. People, somebody who's just simple, they have wonderful relationships. Because it is not a question of management. Nobody likes to be managed by you. You need to understand that. Yes? Nobody likes to be managed by you. When they realize you're managing them, they'll give you hell. In so many ways, they'll make your life miserable. Please see, for most people on this planet, it is not their enemies who are taking their life, it is their loved ones. Isn't it so? Yes? If your enemy is taking your life, there is some sense to it. But people care for each other, but they are the people who are taking each other's life, isn't it? Isn't it so? This is happening constantly. Generation after generation, people are going through the same things because they believe the other person has to be managed. You don't try to manage the other person. You see how to include the other person. Then, even if you don't understand what the hell is happening with the other person, still it is okay. You don't have to understand every damn thing that the other person is. It is the inclusion that the other person is seeking, not really that you have to understand every maya, every thought and every emotion. In fact, they'll feel threatened if you understand everything. Isn't it? People will feel very threatened if you seem to understand just about everything. They'll get scary. People are not looking for understanding. Though they claim they're looking for understanding, what they're looking is for inclusion, isn't it? It is inclusiveness that you're seeking in a relationship. Understanding could be very threatening. So, managing relationships is not what needs to be done. You need to understand, first of all, why you need a relationship. Somewhere there is some sense of incompleteness. If you take away this, if you attain to that state within you, which has nothing to do with the other, then you will see every other wants to be with you. Everybody wants to be with you because your need is gone. This is the funny thing about life. When you have a need, nobody wants to be with you. When your need is gone, everybody wants to be with you. It's only when the flower blossoms, the bees will come. If you don't blossom, bees won't come.